and welcome to Thursday sketch night here at Bird's Nest Designs. It is the second Thursday of the month. We are in February 2026 and it is time for another sketch. So this time we are going to be playing around along with this one right here. You can see there's lots of fun shapes on there, lots of layers, and it really opens your mind to lots of possibilities. So I'm going to share with you my process on how I turn this sketch into a beautiful card using the lovely arrangements bundle from Stampin' Up tonight. And I'll be showing you an alternate that you could create with some stuff from your stash and hopefully inspire you to pull something out that you haven't played with in a while and give it a whirl. So for those of you that we haven't met yet, welcome. My name is Denise Cox. I am the heart and hands behind Bird's Nest Designs, a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Canada. And more importantly, I am just passionate about sharing my love of crafting and creating with you. So thank you so much for being here. Usually my videos on Thursdays are live. This week I'm away, so this one is pre-recorded for you. But please let me know you're watching. Leave me a comment, say hello. I will be checking the comments when I'm able to and responding to them as I can. So I love knowing who's here to stamp with me, so please leave me a comment and let me know where you're watching from and what you think of today's sketch and the project I'm going to share with you. So with that, let's turn the camera down to my desk and we'll explore this beautiful, lovely arrangements bundle and our fun February sketch. So this is actually part of a suite from Stampin' Up. It's a fairly new release. Very, very pretty one. I loved the sentiments is what sold me. But that being said, you could use any kind of stamps that you have in your collection. There's no need necessarily to go out and buy this one just to make this card. So keep your mind open to possibilities and alternate ideas as we go along. I'm going to leave today's sketch over here and remove the bundle just so you can see how we're going. Now, what I did for myself is I've created these sketches in little templates, as you can see right here out of cardstock. I keep them handy on my desk for when I'm having, a little bit of lack of creativity. I just pull one of these out. And on the back, I've added a label with all of the measurements, so it makes it super easy to follow along. But of course, a sketch does not have to be followed exactly. It can just be a starting point and let the ideas flow from there. So tonight, we're going to use Cloud Cover with some Secret Sea, which is becoming one of my favorite colors. I've got a piece already cut out from the lovely arrangements dies. We're going to use some old olive to do some die cutting. I've got this gorgeous paper right here, which is part of this suite. Let me grab it and tell you what it's called, just in case it inspires you to maybe pull it out of your collection if you already own it, or add it to your card if you want to. It's called the Lovely Blossoms Designer Series paper. Okay, so I've got a piece of that. I've got a little strip of vellum. We're going to do something really fun with this vellum. If you watched last week, we did a fun stained glass with vellum. Today we're going to do something a little different. Then I've got another piece of white for some stamping, and from the Stylish Shapes, I've cut out a cloud cover circle. So all of the measurements for today, I will try and give them to you as I go. If I forget or miss any, they will be in my blog post on Sunday. So be sure to go there and check it out. You can see the site address right there on the bottom of your screen. Alrighty, let's do our stamping first. So I'm going to pull in my white piece of paper here, and with Secret Sea, I am going to stamp both of the flowers from the stamp set. So I'm just kind of creating a focal point on my card, if you will. So ink that up. Okay, just like that. And then we'll ink this up. So I may have already mentioned this, but creating from a sketch is like one of my very favorite things to do. When I am stuck, it's the best way to get my creativity going again. Just pulling out a sketch and creating. So I'd love to know, leave me a comment, let me know if you use sketches in your crafting practice or if you have a different way to get that inspiration flowing. Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see. All right, so we've got those our flowers stamped. Then what I want to do is I'm going to cut them out with the coordinating die. So here are the dies, you guys. They are so fun. So I said that the sentiments was what sold me, but these die shapes are just phenomenal. Now, forgive the color combo because it's not the most desirable, but I did kind of cut out each of the shapes just to show you how fun these two are right there. So, and you saw that I cut that one out of secrecy already. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these flower ones out. So we're gonna need that one and that one. And then I also want this label. So this label is what I'm transitioning in to be this strip here. So this strip's quite long. I'm not gonna make mine quite that long, but my flowers are gonna kind of encompass this circle. Like I've got something really fun planned that we're gonna go ahead and recreate. So for this, I'm gonna use some Post-it tape, and I have the stuff still here from the last time. And I'm just going to match this up. Okay, and this one fits quite closely to the line, so just match that up, put your tape down. And I'll grab another piece here. And we'll tape this one like that. And please, if you like today's video, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends. The more, the merrier who join us here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, so we've got their flowers, and then we're gonna cut this little label, as I mentioned, out of white as well. So I'm gonna put that on my plates here. So I have, I don't know why, but for some reason I do have my magnetic board. This is an oldie, but a goodie. So that's okay, it works just as, it works. So we're gonna put that here. All right. That's gonna cut up there. And then I'm gonna take this old olive. Ooh, where's my camera? Over here. My old olive. And this is two-tone cardstock, okay? So one side's lighter than the other. I do want to use the dark side, so I'm gonna put the dark side up. And then I'm gonna cut out these fun little leaves over here. So if you wanted the light side, just flip it on over and cut your leaves out of the dark side. And then we'll put this on. And I will run this through the machine real quick, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so let me bring those over. We'll pull them out. So there's my label. And then we have the first flower and the second flower. Okay, those Post-it tape pieces can still be used again, so I've got them up there again. And then these leaves, I was hoping that by dropping them, they would just pop out, but it doesn't seem to be working that way, so we'll use our Take a Pick tool and just poke those out. So for anybody who's watching that's not aware, on the back of your dies, if they're solid dies like this, there's these little circles, and those are meant just to be little poke holes, as I call them. So you can poke those and get your die paper right out. Just be careful when you're tugging on it that you don't pull too tight. You don't want to rip the delicate pieces. So let's put these back on here so I don't lose them. And I always like to put a magnetic sheet in with my dies just to keep them all done. But of course it's not necessary. You can just keep them in the envelopes they come in or on those little cardboard pieces. I just get my sheets on Amazon. Okay, so let's put those away. Actually, we don't need to put them away yet. I'll just put them in here. Okay, so we've got our pieces all cut out. Something just fell on the floor. I don't know what that was. The lid, there it is. The lid for my Take a Pick tool. Okay, so now we're gonna take this vellum piece, and I told you we're gonna do something really fun with it. So we're going to do something very, very simple, but if you've never tried this, you're gonna want to. It's really cute. We're gonna take the Beautiful Patterns embossing folder, and we're gonna just emboss this piece of vellum. So open up your folder, just like you would any, oh, something is stuck to here. Okay, like you would any piece of paper, just open up the folder, place your vellum inside, and then of course we're gonna run that through again. So bear with me one sec while I get that going through. I just need to change the plates on my machine here. Okay. Alright, so when you emboss your vellum, look what happens. When you pull it out, you have this beautiful pattern, and because it's vellum, everywhere it embossed, it turns it white, just like that. And that's all I did was emboss it. So isn't that a gorgeous little trick and tip. If you've never done this, give it a whirl and let me know what you think. It is a game changer when you want just that little bit of subtlety, but a wow factor as well. So there we have it. There's my little tip for that tonight. Okay, so we've got that piece, we've got our dies. Let's go ahead and do our last little bit of stamping. So on our little label here, I'm gonna grab some old olive ink. I'm gonna tie it in nicely with those leaves. And I'm gonna stamp Hello Friend. So one of my very favorite type of cards to make, actually it is my favorite type of card to make, is Just Because or Hello cards. There's nothing more special than getting a card in the mail just because. Not for any reason, just somebody thinking of you and wanting to say hello. So that is my favorite type of card to make, and so that's what we're going to create today. All right, now all of our pieces are created. Now let me go ahead and show you how we're going to construct this sketch. So I've got my card base here, just a standard one, which here it's showing in the bubble back cardstock, but we've got cloud cover, as I said earlier. I'm just going to grab my bone folder here. And I did notice that one of my corners of my cardstock is a little bit bent, so I'm just going to put that to the back side. And oh, it's a little bent there too. Oh well, it'll be fine. Nobody's going to notice. Okay, then I'm going to take the pretty paper here. This is the floral side, which I absolutely love, and the back is a fun, pretty petal pink pattern there. So whatever side you like, of course you're going to pull paper out of your collection, so you might not even be using the same paper, but the blue paper, let me show you those measurements. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Ooh. So the card is standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when it's folded in half. The layer, the Secret C, is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Layer number 2, which in this case is the designer series paper, is 5 by 3 3/4. So this is just going to be one of those tight little thin borders around our DSP. Just like that. Just like our card has black surrounding our gray. Okay, now we can go ahead and we're going to attach that to the front of the card, and it's already pretty, right? That paper is just so gorgeous. So we'll go ahead, we'll attach this. Like that. Oh, that's not very centered. Let's see if I can get that a little bit more centered. Oh, maybe not. Okay, we're just going to have to live with, oh, maybe. I thought it was tearing the cardstock, and I didn't want that to happen. Okay, let's go ahead and put that a little more centered this time. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right, so now that we have that, we're gonna look, oh, this is upside down. So this piece here across the center, this one measures 1 1/2 by 5. That's what we're gonna use for the vellum. Because when I was playing with this card originally, and this sketch, originally I thought like a, let's say old olive strip across. But even though this is bigger than intended, you get the gist. Like it just sort of like, it's too much. It's too bold for my eyes. It hides too much of those beautiful flowers. I tried with Secret C, I tried with cloud cover, and that's when I turned to my vellum. So I thought this looks so, so pretty. And of course, look at this. I've cut it a little bit too long. So I'm just going to trim that with my trimmer. 1 second here. Let me grab that. Just on the desk behind me here. So we're just going to trim that down to 5 so that it sits right directly across on our designer series paper. I must have had it, I don't know what I did, 5 1/4 maybe. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and that's going to tape across. Now, when you have flat vellum, when you haven't embossed it, when you put adhesive, especially on a dark piece, you're going to see that tape through, right? The same is true when it's embossed. However, it's a little less noticeable when it's embossed and the paper behind it is patterned and or light. So in this case, it's going to work just to put a little bit of seal across each end and then stick this down across the center. Okay. So there we have it. So you can't even really tell that that's glued down there, right? You don't have that same marking you would if it was a darker or unembossed. So if I hold it like that, you guys can really see how gorgeous that looks. on there. So it's nice and subtle. Love it. All right, then just as the sketches, this sketch we're interpreting pretty much as is today. This circle here is going to be our cloud cover circle. And then I was thinking our flowers, we're going to go kind of as more of a focal point on here. Maybe they could be staggered a bit like that. Our hello friend could go across, and then we could intertwine some leaves in and amongst it. Now, what I wanted to do with this is show you something really cool. So this is how it comes out, and although it looks stunning as a background, a backdrop, whatever, this fun little circle shape, it also makes for a great scallop edge. Let me show you. So I'm gonna take my trimmer out again, and this piece here, so if you wanted a long one, you could cut this way, but I just want a short one here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put those circles in my cutter. I'm gonna line it up, so I'm gonna cut nice and straight, and I'm just gonna cut it. And now I have this fabulous scallop edge. All right, so with that, I want to put that along the bottom of my hello friend, like that. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, you guys, leave me a comment. Let me know if that is like just like a wow. Because when I saw that, I was like, oh, I love it. I love it. I have been missing our scallop punch. Do you guys remember? I don't know if you've been around for Stampin' Up for a while. You probably remember the old scallop punch. Used to do the borders. Anyway, it was one of my most used tools, and then it retired. And sadly, I think I got rid of it in one of my rummage sales, and now wish I had not. But anyway, this is a really good alternative. So I've got just a wee bit of my liquid glue there, holding that in place. I'm just gonna put my hello friend down on top, and then press it down and pull it up. So there we have it. Okay, there is our scallop. And now we can go ahead and add this. Now, we can start assembling, but I do think the leaves, or not the leaves, the flowers need a bit of color. So I'm gonna use my cloud cover blends in the light. And I don't think we're gonna need dark, but we'll play by ear. And I'm just gonna kind of add some color. Intentionally, I want to leave this very center of the flower white, so I'm not coloring inside these little markings, but I am just sort of following these lines, giving it a bit of color on the inside of the flower, like this. So it doesn't, I'm not coloring it entirely, although you could do a totally contrasting color. You could just have fun and do whatever you want with this one, really, but I liked the matchy-matchy of the cloud cover today, so we're gonna use that. Okay, so we have that. And I'm on the fence about whether or not I'm gonna color this, but I think I'm gonna leave it as the back side of the leaf, or petal, which would be white. So we're gonna leave that like that. And so right away you can see, just like this, there is our sketch comparison. Do you see that? You can see the exact same shapes and all the things. And now we're just gonna add more of our personality and creativity to the card base. So let's go ahead and glue our circle down. I am going to, for that one, just simply glue it down with my seal. And we can decide where we want the circle. I do like it on the left-hand side there. So we've got that. And then if we place this kind of where we want it to end up, it just helps us to guide where we want to put our flowers. So, and then don't forget, don't run away at the end, because I'm going to share with you a very different take on this sketch. Like, makes a completely different feel card that you're not going to want to miss. So here we go. We've got this. I'm going to put 4 dimensionals on this big old flower here. And this is kind of tuck it under where the hello is going to go, like that. And then for our other one here, we probably only need 2 bumpets. Okay, and then that can just sort of, we can either have it on the top or we can have it behind, kind of tucked in. But I think on the top is really cute, just like that. Now let's flip our sentiment over. We're gonna put a bump it on this end and one near the middle. But on the edge where it's gonna sit on the flower, I'm just gonna add my Stampin' Seal. And then that can go straight across like that as we had planned. So isn't this fun? I love, like I said, I love creating with a sketch and just following the template and then adding a ton of personality. So now let's pull in some baby bumpets, some little minis, and we can decide where we want these leaves to go. So we could add a bit of green over here and then perhaps some down here. That's kind of cute. Or what if we were to turn them around? Switch them about. So the green down there gives a little more heavy sway to the left there. And then we could add in even one up here by the hello. It's kind of cute. We could do another one up here. So you can just play around and see where you like the leaves. You know, I kind of think I like them how I had them the first way. So they were up here. And again, everybody's idea on which one looks better is probably going to be different. So you can take your card and do it whichever way you like. But I kind of like that. I think that gives it a nice balance. So let's go ahead and put those leaves in place. So I just put one on the back of the leaf, and then I'm just tucking it in like that. And then for these guys, we're going to do the same. Just one little baby bump it behind. Like that. And then we can tuck that in. However and wherever. And you can actually pull these leaves one way or the other. There we go. Now, isn't that beautiful? I just love following along a sketch. And so this is February sketch layout number 2. If you love sketches and you'd love to get your hands on the template for this, head on over to my blog on Sunday. You'll have a PDF download. It'll be a full page with the picture of the sketch, the measurements, and both cards I'm going to share with you tonight on a picture on the bottom, just to give you a little creative guidance when you want to play along. But these will be great resources in your craft room for those times when the creativity is just a little lacking. You can start on your sketch. Okay, so then I'm going to use the Moody Glossy Dots. And I love the look of these dark ones here. So we're going to use those. And I think if we pop one up here on the vellum, just to bring your eye to that beautiful vellum we embossed. And then we'll put another larger one over here. You can put them wherever you want. I always struggle to place them so that they don't look placed, but in the end, nobody knows where, if you meant to put them, what you did, you know what I'm trying to say. So there we have it. There is today's card, following along with February's sketch. Now, as I promised, I have another card I created that if you've been following me and watching my channel for a long time, you will probably recall this card. I've done it before in a video for you all, but this one follows the same sketch. As I said, I love sketches, so I keep them handy. And I use the Darling Dinos on this one, and that fun toadstool paper that was from a previous celebration. And look at the difference. Look how drastically different those cards are, but yet it all came from the same sketch. So ideas can flow, opportunities are wide open, and there is so much you can do with a sketch and the supplies you have in your craft room. So leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this video series. As I mentioned, right now it's the second Tuesday of every month. I'm here live with a sketch. And then you can follow up and download that sketch from my blog the following Sunday. Those blog posts go live at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, so here I am back here again with you. Thank you so much for spending some of your Thursday evening with me. I hope you enjoyed the video and like me, enjoy playing around with a sketch. If you've never used sketches or you've only seldom done it, I hope I've encouraged you, inspired you to give it a whirl. And head on over to my blog on Sunday and download that sketch. and add it to your collection. All right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend. And I will have a video hopefully posted for you next Thursday as well. If not, it'll be the following, but please check in on Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope to see you then. So again, thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you again real soon. Cheers.